Yeah, right.
That 9-pack.
The 9-pack. Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'll be cheering you on. All right. Are we on 30?
Yes.
Episode 30?
Yes.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Episode 30 of
The Grand App Show.
And very special guest. We got to do a proper intro. I've been noticing lately we haven't given a proper intro. We're almost like, oh, just like introduce yourself. So we have a very special guest, and we're going to kick off with a very special story, which I don't know if you've discussed it with your audience, but we have Chris Sain in the building, author,
Speaker.
motivator,
You got to throw it in there.
entrepreneur. This guy's doing a lot. Featured in Huffington Post, two-time author.
Got a third book on the way.
Grand City. Oh, is that the drop?
Grand City Sports.
Yeah. The plug.
Grand City Sports. So I've known Chris for probably about over 4 years now. As we were starting Grand Apps, we actually built one of his first websites, right?
And my mobile app.
And the mobile app, right? And I think Charles actually did his book cover, the first book cover too, right?
He did. Shout out to Charles.
Shout out to Charles, the captain. Jamie, maybe put like Chris's book cover right here, the first one. We'll get you a link.
Nice.
So that's who we got. So real quick, I want to jump in this story. So have you, because you're out speaking in different schools and people, and have you told the USB plane story to a lot of people? That's when I first met you.
Yeah.
And that is a very interesting story because you're almost not an author. Well, for that moment, right?
So what Chris was referring to, man, my first book came out in 2014, but the book had been done in 2012. I went on a speaking tour, so my life kind of took off. The book was supposed to precede the speaking, but the speaking tour in my career took off first. So as I'm traveling around the country, I used to always have my USB with me, but my book was on it. And I'm telling that at all these different places. I'm in New York, I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm telling everybody, giving this awesome speech that my book is on the way. Well, I lost my USB in one of the city I was on my speaking tour. And thankful enough that maybe 9 months later, a young man returned it to me, and so that allowed me to regain my manuscript and eventually published my first book. So it ended up coming out in 2014 when I was really done in 2012.
Yeah. That's just like you were meant to make that book out there. You were meant, because what's the likelihood? What's the chances?
Did you lose hope? Like, it's gone. Or am I restart?
Every day I checked the pants I wore, the pockets. I'm looking like, man, it's in here. I checked the cuffs and the creases, like, man, it might have fell somewhere. I would call the airports the different ones I flew out from. I would call the hotel, like, man, can y'all check one more time? Then you guys turn it in, and I just kept doing that. And one day I got a call from a young kid. He said, I had this sitting in my room on my desk for all these months. He said, I happened to plug it in to my computer just to see what was on it. He said, I read the best book I ever read.
I didn't know that part of it.
And I think this person might want it. And he said, your resume was next to your book on your flash drive. And he was like, I got your address and your phone number, your name, and I want to send it to you. And so
that's a sweet story.
Today I'm thankful to that young guy. His name is Alex. Shout out to Alex.
So we can do a tip for all the authors. If you ever have a book on a USB, put your resume next to it just in case you lose it.
Yeah.
And head on the cloud too, and then.
Or just yeah. We're talking 2014. Exactly, this is before all the technology.
Everything on the USB is like, now you're good.
Yeah. Was that on a floppy disk?
Yeah, man. So super excited, super grateful to get that back, and then man, it just took off from there. Like Brandon said, it was kind of meant to be. Sometimes life will just take shape, and the book came out. And it opened up a whirlwind of opportunities, man. And so it's been a good ride. My life as a speaker has been great. I've been able to a book is good, but to be able to speak and pour into people it's just as good as well. So I've been thankful.
100%, man. What's one thing that you've learned on your journey, right, as an entrepreneur that maybe you wish you'd have known starting out?
That
Besides, don't lose a USB.
Yup. The one thing I would say that I learned on my journey, man, is that you got to be built for this. See, entrepreneur has become a buzzword that a lot of people are running with nowadays, and they're just slapping it up in their profiles. And those of us that really do this, we understand the real work that goes in. Some people say, I want to leave my job and be an entrepreneur because I want to make my own schedule. You work more than you would at a regular job.
That's true. That's true.
I want the thought leaders that's out there to speak more to the real grind of what an entrepreneur life is like versus it's just a new buzzword in the world right now, and I don't think people really understand how much work, time, effort, energy, your own money goes into your business, and then the building products, and then pushing products, and getting sales, and the whole 9 yards. And so that's what I would put out there as it relates to being an entrepreneur.
That's the hard part, like, because everybody's on Instagram, like, my life's so good.
Mm-hmm.
You have a pretty nice car. I've seen you driving around, right? And he's not flashy, right? He has a message, right? He's trying to get that out and like help people, like really help people,
It's
not like
all about who
look
I can
at my
help.
nice car.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That,
'Cause it's
that
like,
stuff is so secondary.
yeah, right. It
That
comes
stuff-
later if you want it, right?
Yeah, that stuff don't matter. And
Yeah.
what people don't know, and I'll be fully transparent here, I do drive a nice car. I do have and own a nice home, but I drive a BMW, by the way. But even though it looks good,
Stacey has a Mercedes, so he's like,
check this out, Stacey. But check this out. It's a 2010, paid for in full.
Yeah.
No car note, that kind of stuff. And so somebody may see you and want to mimic that, but understand, I'm driving used. I got an appraisal on my first home. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood, but was able to get my house at a reduced price. And so I was able to buy and own my home in a nice neighborhood, but instead of paying $250,000 for a home, I'm paying $150,000 for a home.
Yeah.
And it's things like that that can help you build your wealth, can help you put your money in other places instead of being stuck with a car note. And so people see the image, but very few understand the moves we really make to be able to operate and run a business.
Yeah, sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
You know a little bit about it. Like
I
you're
know a lot
entrepreneurial
about it.
minded, right?
Yeah. And I like that you brought that up. And you kind of expand on that a little bit too, because you're talking about kind of wealth and money now. You're talking about investment in yourself, right? And where to put your money. How much to spend on maybe just, I mean, you got to look nice if you're an entrepreneur in the business world. I'm talking to owners and managers every day. So I have to look presentable. So you do have to spend money on yourself to actually maintain that status. You don't just want to be out there looking, like whatever. But kind of explain, okay, as you were growing up or as you built your business, what was the best route to invest in yourself, make yourself actually be known around Grand Rapids? Like, how did you get to that level?
So a couple things I want to put out there for the Grand Apps viewers. They often say that the first impression is the best impression. And one thing about being young black male and an entrepreneur, every time you meet somebody, you have to make a new first impression. And so for me, I dress not necessarily to impress, but I dress well, but it's part of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I like to carry myself, and today I'm dressed down.
I thought you were gonna have a bow tie. That's what I wanted
I wanted the red suit to come out, 'cause that's my favorite color. I got red shorts, red hat. I wanted to come in the red suit.
I'm getting a button up. Look, I got my belt. I was like, if Chris comes all decked out, I gotta at least have half the game, because I know how he gets dressed. You want 40 under 40. That's another award.
That was my favorite outfit.
Shout out to Grandpa's business.
Yeah.
So check this out, man. I'm big on how I present myself, how I carry myself, and I notice people take you more serious. I have various looks. I'm an athletic guy, and so I love to have my Henleys on and stuff like that. But when I need to handle business, I need to be taken serious when I'm at the table. And so for me, my presentation means a lot. My image means a lot. And these guys will tell you, if you see me just in random, I'm always dressed to a T. And a lot of that is not to impress anybody, but I had to leave an impression on the people. And so.
And you got that. And I think, as you mentioned, as a black male to entrepreneur, like if you want to attract some of the younger African Americans, the way you dress is going to automatically get them attracted to you. Like, man, look at the brother dressed in a bright red suit with the bow tie, looking flashlight. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to take more interest in actually learning how you got to that level.
Absolutely,
so that's what I like that you do, man.
You're 100% right. I'm big on that. Know your audience. Yeah. It's very key. I speak all around the country. I speak in prisons. I speak in colleges, universities. I speak to businesses. I might wear some Jordans when I go into a high school, an urban high school, or a college setting full of freshmen. Because even though I have advanced degrees, I want them to know I'm highly educated, but I can still come down and relate on this level. Yep. And so I'm able to not only draw massive crowds, but I'm able to draw the listener in, because they're now interested in what I got to say. To Brandon's point, they're now interested in how did he get there, what steps did he take, and then me, I pride myself on being accessible. So I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to text you. I'm going to tell you every step that I took and what you can avoid so that you can get to where you're trying to get to a lot quicker. But there's no easy street. There's no easy route. It's all hard work. I wanted to share a story, man. Chris, one day, I reached out to him. I was conflicted about, because there's so many good platforms out here. Social, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. And I called him one day, and man, he gave me the best advice. So I was on Facebook, but I was about to get off of Facebook and try to build my platform on some other things. And Chris told me, he said, Chris, man, you need to double down. And at the time, I really didn't know what double down was. And so I said, man, Chris, can you explain to me what you mean by double down? He said, go harder on the platform that you're currently on and just focus on that one. And man, I took his advice. I doubled down, and my social media following went from like thousands to hundreds of thousands.
Hey, congrats, man!
And it was all.
Can we get him on social?
It was all his, all his advice, all his input that I took to heart, and so I wanted to tell you guys about that too, because as an entrepreneur, I became a social media celebrity 3 years ago. So I get paid by Twitter, I get paid by Instagram, I get paid by Facebook to make posts. And I used to think that kind of stuff was only reserved for Kim Kardashian and people like that. And so I was able to cultivate this massive following, this organic following. So I'm a self-published author. Yeah, sometimes I think about traditional route, but I have a cult-like following where every time I release a book, I do numbers as if I'm on a traditional publishing deal. And so I just got to give kudos to my buddy Chris, man. The information and the advice he gave me really helped me. It helped me just focus my work. So now not that I don't focus on other social media platforms. I still got good followers on Instagram. Yeah. I don't use Twitter other than to directly connect with other.
How many followers do you have right now? I mean, we'll put links, but like, so you got Instagram, you're like at 13.6.
Yep.
What's Facebook?
Facebook is over 200,000.
Wow.
That's not bad.
These are literally celebrities.
That's not bad.
Twitter is like 2,300 or 2,000, somewhere in that range. And so combined, so what happens in the influencer world, you get all these calls. I'm like, hey, you have real reach. See, some people think they got a big following. We don't know if they're buying fake followers or what they're doing. But the world looks at your reach. Like, how many people actually like and connect with your posts? And so therefore the brands reach out to you. Ithaca was a boxer brand that reached out. I don't know if you guys know Knockout. It's a pill that the MMA fighters use. Different people reach out to you to be a brand ambassador for their products. And so as an entrepreneur, these are all opportunities come from having a personal brand. And so because of his advice, I doubled down and I monetized my whole personal brand, in addition to being a business owner of Grand City. You know what I'm saying? And so now I have multiple streams of income. I'm an investor. I'm able to see companies I like. This would be one, and be like, you know what? I wanna come in to this. I want to be a part of this, because to be a part owner is really how you begin to diversify your income, diversify your portfolio, and continuously have income coming in. And so it's just been a great journey, man, and I give a lot of kudos
I've never known that story, by the way. I remember talking about that.
You remember the call, though, right?
Yeah, and we were talking even too, like, I was like, man, you get on lives and stuff like that, but that'd been a different platform, so I'm happy you didn't do that.
Yeah,
but
you told me to go on Periscope. You told me to
But now
go on,
Instagram has it, and and they
You
bought it
told-
like they have it.
And see, that's another thing. I reached out, and you got to be humble, too. If you're going to get anywhere, you can't be a person that is afraid to reach out to people, ask people, man. These guys, and John, and all of them here at Grand Rapids have always held me down. I text them, I hit them up, and I was telling them, man, where I was at, and like I say, he saw that I was in need, and he reached out and gave me some advice, man, that helped me go all the way off as it relates to social media. And so
that's crazy. That's cool, man. 200. What was like the turning point that you saw, like from 200 to 2,000?
Nope, it doesn't happen like that. That's another thing. I can walk you guys through this. So I was at 5,000 followers. My first viral post, even though the post went viral, the uptick only went to 10,000. And so I ended up writing 4 more viral posts, but that still only took you to 15,000. So the rest, you know how they say content is king or whatever, the rest end up coming out down to consistently putting out consistent content. And so as I continued to do that, I understood my market, I understood what my followers wanted to hear from me, and I catered to that, from my books to the messages I send out every day. And people text me. I get personal messages every single day.
You probably get blown up.
I apologize to all my fans that I can't answer every single email.
That's funny,
but I get messages from my fans, and they got real stuff they're going through, real stuff they're dealing with, and I do my best to respond to as many as possible. But I create a tribe that, they're going to rock with Chris till the wheels fall off, and that's really what it's about. And when you got a product, in my case, it's books, it's speaking, it's direct services, it's coaching, that becomes who you serve. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the income never stops flowing.
That's what. So I was talking to Jamie about this, and you do a lot of content on Instagram too, right? And you do like meme generation, content generation. So what we want to do is we want you, and we have little nuggets here and there, I'm sure we do right now. We want you to give like 3 pieces of advice that would be meme form, and we're going to create some super cool content that we're going to share on our page and give to you to share and make it awesome.
Yeah. So number 1, if you're going to create something meme form, the first thing to do is find, whether it's a photo of you awesome guys around here, whether it's something that's going to convey your message, find the optic that's going to reach who you're trying to reach. 2, the good thing about Twitter and 140 characters, the moment you guys can master how to say something catchy, powerful, and impactful in a short amount of words, the more you can reach people. 3, don't be afraid to have a more wordier content, because you'll be surprised. Sometimes I just do tests to see.
Same. Where do you put your more, like, where do you put the more words on? What platform?
Yep. So I'll first try. I test everything on Facebook first, because that's my cash cow. Yep. And guys know this. Facebook is a business. When you see me on there, I'm always in business mode. Even if it's a viral post, it's business. It's something getting paid on the back end. It's a transaction happening off of the things that's posted, and I want people to know that.
Except for maybe we'll take a picture and throw it up on your page, and that's not paid.
And that's not paid, but that's maybe help lead generate some sales. It maybe help get your brand out there. It maybe inspire somebody else to connect. I saw somebody come on here yesterday and add me as a friend because they saw the video you put up. And so that's how it works. And that's what we got to do, man. We have to lift each other up. Yep. Add Grand Apps as a friend. Follow them on Twitter. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on all of their social platforms and any other medium that's out there, and share their content. These videos, the other guys that has come up here inspire me, and we work in a space where we need who motivating the motivators. We need to be motivated, and so I gleaned something from everybody you brought up here prior to me. I'm hoping somebody that's watching this today does the same thing, because we're all in this together. It's really being an entrepreneur and doing this kind of stuff this is a small community, and we have to lean and rely on each other. And
it's not even competition.
And
we're not trying to one up. We're like, I mean, my buddy, he just got a place downtown, super nice place, and I was looking like, man, we should look at that. Super nice place, and I'm looking like, man, like, my place isn't even that nice, and I'm like, this guy's younger than me, right? He's killing it, and I'm like,
What's
man,
nice
that
about this,
motivates
too,
me. Like, but
what's
I
nice
want to
about
beat him.
this
I want
is
him
they're
to
in your
keep
own
winning.
backyard.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
right.
Grand Rapids motivators. Like a lot of times you look at, I mean, there's people out there to follow that's going to motivate you. Tony Robbins, one that I love, but it's like I can't meet Tony Robbins.
You love Tony.
I do love Tony. I can't call him and say, hey man, I need a little motivation. But I'm like Chris or Chris, either one. I can just go to Chris.
At the gym. I see him at the gym when I'm lifting. They're lifting. Yep. And so it's good to be able to see other like-minded individuals doing the same thing, got the same type of goals you got, and there's no competition. Yep. There's no trying to one-up each other. Like I said, he didn't have to even give me that advice, but because his heart is in the right place, he told me something that at the time, I was just growing an organic following. His advice made me say, you know what, I'm going to push Instagram and all the other stuff to the side. I'm about to just focus on Facebook. And I can leave my job today and just run Facebook. The business through Facebook, because his heart was in the right place. You feel what I'm saying? And
We're gonna get him on social. I've been trying to push him so much.
Years.
So much.
I'll start. He'll be like, Brandon, do I do it? And then I'll fall off.
But so every business owner that we brought up to the show, every single one so far, we had about 7 guests on. They all said social media took them from here to there.
It did.
Right?
Another
their
thing
business,
it did too,
it's helping
It did. Another thing it did too. So we're young. We're all young guys. I'm a young guy, and thank God for social media. I talk about this in books. I talk about this in Huffington Post and all the people that reach out to me. But thank God for social media. It has helped me bypass red tape. It has helped me bypass the old guard that may say you can't become great until we say you can become great.
Yep.
Nope. Because of social media and because I took the time to learn what I was doing, I was able to be as great as I want to be, so to speak. If Huffington Post wants to write a whole spread about me, we can make the connection. I don't have to have a middleman to do that, thanks to social media. And so it has opened up many doors. I used to have and I still have a website, but I used to only do business through the website. Now my business happened in the inbox or the DM. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about U of M. They'll DM you, hey, got time to come by in August to talk to the students? Our budget to pay a speaker is X amount of dollars, and yada yada yada. And it's happening on social media. They're not emailing that so-called professional email address that back in the day we were told we needed. They're coming to me right directly, and I'm able to send them through email an invoice or whatever. But that's the only part of it that's formalized. Everything else is social.
So your what was a main takeaway for your social is just stay consistent,
Yep.
good content,
Yep.
knowing your audience, right?
Yep. All of that.
What are some mistakes you see people making on social media, right? Whether it's a brand or a person or.
Yep. I see too many people get caught up into not carrying out their brand for the long haul. Meaning this: if they start a business page or a fan page and their regular profile gets more likes than the business page, they'll drift away from the fan page and go back to their regular profile page because they're concerned about the likes.
Yeah.
The fan page is about business. You run all of us that got fan pages, any influencer, any social media rock star, any grand apps, all of that stuff is about the business. And so don't get caught up in the likes. Keep producing content even on that page, and eventually, and I'm telling you guys straight up, I remember I had 1 or 2 likes and I would get 500 likes on my profile. I remember when that shifted and I would start getting 500 likes on my fan page, and I went from 500 to 700, from 700 to 900 to 900 to 1200, and then it just blew up. And so just stay consistent. Don't let the likes deter you from sticking it out.
Yeah, likes aren't currency.
It's
I mean,
currency.
it could turn into
it. Can turn into it, yeah.
But
while you're building, understand what you're doing. You're building. Somebody don't even know you got a page up. Yeah, you might have invited a few people. They might not have checked or got your invite request. Just keep building. Just keep putting out content.
Yeah, and don't let it defer you, because actually that happened with us a couple times. I'm not crushing it like you by any means, but I have 5,000 friends on Facebook, so I'll post something. Sometimes it'll get 150 likes. Sometimes you get 30 likes, and then the 30 likes you mentally oh, maybe I should just take it down. Maybe it's not good, but it's not that though, because people are still gonna see it. They're just not gonna interact at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But you still gotta stay consistent and don't think about it I just got to get likes, or like, let me do anything for likes and like break the brand.
Right.
So let me go on this trend or that trend, right? It's just
stay consistent.
Yes,
stay
100%.
true, stay true to your brand.
Right.
Stay true to who you trying to target in your message.
Yeah.
Another thing too is that sometimes you can't let your followers dictate who they want you to be.
Yes.
Stay in control of your brand.
Yes.
So for instance,
That's a good one.
That's a very good one.
I like talking about relationships, but I'm an athlete at the end of the day. I love sports. I'm an educator. I love the youth. And so sometimes your fans only wants to hear from you if you're talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
No, stay true to who you are and make them adapt. They will adapt. And so I'm a spiritual person. So I'll say every morning my 5 a.m. post is something spiritual. My 7 a.m. post is something they got to do with health and fitness. And it's just part of the process. And so keep that in mind. Never let your fans dictate what kind of content you put out. Stay in
Never
control of
ever.
that.
We're getting the wrap up sign. You saw it.
Yeah.
I want you to touch on the haters. That was my next question.
The
Because you have the
battery's gonna
fans,
die.
you have
Battery's
the
low?
haters. That's what I wanted to
How
ask.
much percent is it on?
3,
Whoa. No, that's
2.
that's good. All right, let's one done. That'd be a good cut though, so we can keep going. What's closing statements, man, that you want to share a message from anybody who's watching this possibly?
Absolutely. If you guys are watching this show today, I want to let you know personally, believe in yourself, because if you don't, nobody else will. I believe it's very important not to be deterred by what naysayers are going to say, what the haters are going to say. You got to keep doing you. Know what you were called to do. Know what your purpose is on this side of the earth. Live it out every day.
That's what's up.
That's it. You got anything?
I like that.
Co-host, you gotta say something. Sometimes you're on these shows, so you gotta get all you can in right now. Like all in.
You know what?
100%.
We're at 1%. You'll be seeing more of me. How about that? You'll be seeing more of me, and then I'm gonna throw on this side because I can talk for days too once I get going. So, episode 30, we out. I got to do.